G'day! In today's video I had the Hyatt Y60 case dropped in. A customer has dropped this in for me to complete a build in it, and I was certainly not expecting a case like this. This to me is basically a fish tank. So what I'm going to do is I'll proceed with the build as normal, and anything obscure or odd that I've noticed with the case, I'll let you know. Now just getting in here, I'll just remove the rear fan to replace it with one of these. Well, one of these. And looking in here, I didn't even notice this. One fan, two fan. Not sure if there's an optional slot over there. It does look like there's cables going down to that front I/O over here. But that is kinda cool. And looking at the back, we have some of that dual chamber. Plenty of room for activities. Hard drive tray by the looks of it. And here, down here will be the power supply. Just putting in some Lian Li fans at the moment. We'll have air going in this way, and fresh air going in that way. So I've just loosely got the fans in. One there, daisy chain going up to here. These slot into one another, and then going over to here and to these ones. So we're going up and around and down. The idea is airflow is coming up, drawing out, drawing out, drawing up. Hopefully I can get a board in now. Now I've got the board installed. I did put that on first. Shouldn't have bothered doing that. I should have connected up the front, the HD audio, the fans, the front panel, prior to putting this in. This one here is the PCI riser. And another little thing I noticed is we're only half height along here. And we don't have full PCI. So if you are after this case, make sure your stuff is compatible. Power supply install, very straightforward. It's got a neat little ledge for it to sit on here and here, so it can just sit there freely while you screw it in. No dramas there. Plenty of room for cables to run. 24, 8 going up here. I'll try and snake that into a slightly better position. Try to avoid the fan up here. There's a slight gap, so plugging in the power supply up at the top here is kind of roomy. Even with the fan installed, you can still reach it quite well. So far the spacing has been pretty good. Next up, I'll get the graphics card installed down here. Installing the graphics card was perfectly fine. Under 2 screws at the back. Panels came out, slotted into the riser just fine. And then I had to try and figure out where the power was running, but there is a slit here behind the GPU. And what you can do is feed in from this side, just above the fan, and you can feed it in to then be able to plug it in just in there. Let's continue. So now I've got the system fully assembled. Another thing I am curious though is if the back panel is accessible. So I know taking off this cooler, the back plate's going to drop down, and that's going to make that a lot more tricky to get into. What else did I notice with it? GPU was fine. Let's have a look around the back. The spacing to get to the fans is all pretty good. Drive tray up here is removable if you put an AIO in there. If we have a look around the back. The back plate is accessible, excellent. Do have a little bit of space behind the fan just here. Cable management, yep, you're not going to see it, doesn't really matter. Let's get this fully assembled and take another look. There we go. And now we're fully reassembled. The tinting of the glass is actually slightly dark. Look through here. As you can see, it's a slightly darkened colour. Almost gives it like a bluey kind of look. Granted, this case does just remind me of a fishbowl or a fish tank. There we go. One assembled. Anyway, the Y60 Modern Aesthetic case.